Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Oscar Kilimos. Happy to join you guys for another edition of NBA Player Prop Parlay right here on the Guy Boston Sports YouTube channel. Happy Thursday, everybody. Hope your week is treating you well so far. Before we get into today's video, we have a three-leg parlay to share with you guys today. Real quick, I want to thank you guys. The last couple of days, we have had our most viewed episodes of this program to date. Most views, most likes, most comments, most subscribers added. It's been awesome seeing how great these videos have been doing the last couple of days. Thank you to all the new subscribers, all the new people who maybe you're just finding my videos. Thank you to all those who have been watching. Appreciate the love. Even though we did miss the mark yesterday, we did lose. We went 1 for 3 on props yesterday. Sorry about that. Missed the mark with DeJounte Murray prop hits. LaMelo and Jalen Williams, they kind of sold on us yesterday. But I got the new parlay today that should get us back on track. But just wanted to say thank you to you guys, especially because I know the quality yesterday wasn't the best in terms of the audio. Like, it didn't have any music in the background, didn't have any editing really, and it's kind of going to be the same deal today. I kind of announced yesterday, on top of doing this with Ev, I run my own business. I own a pizza place in Connecticut. So it is a lot. It's a lot to run a business and do this. I do my best to at least get the videos out, whether they're the most perfectly edited or not. So kind of the same deal today. Apologies for that. Got a lot of workers calling out this week. And unfortunately, when you own your own business, you got to step in and you got to stand on business. You got to stand on business when you own your own business. But guys, thank you very much. And one last point before we get into the parlay. Somebody yesterday asked me, because I'm in Connecticut, what's your opinion on Pepe's? And I'll answer it simply by saying this. If you're in the New Haven area, pizza capital of the world, you got to go to Sally's. I'm going to leave it at that. No disrespect to Pepe's. They're a great establishment. I'll never shit someone who's in the pizza business. I would never shit on somebody who's in the pizza business. But if I had to choose in that area, what's the best pizza place in Connecticut, aside from my own, Sally's a pizza in New Haven. It's just goated. If you're in the New Haven area, check it out. But guys, let's dive into today's parlay. All right, guys, like I said, yesterday wasn't the best, but 1 for 3. We are still overall doing very well in the week. I've given you guys 7 props so far this week through the first 3 days of the week, and we've hit on 7 out of 11. So not bad. Not we could do better. Like I said, we had that great start on Monday. The last couple of days, we've been a little bit off the mark, but I have this parlay today that I think will get us right. So 3-leg parlay today. Starting off, we have the Jazz-Wizards game, which kicks off at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going with John Collins of the Utah Jazz over 17.5 points plus rebounds. And we're going to go ahead and kick this over to the Outlier screen. Guys, you don't know what Outlier is. They're the best sports betting tool in the market. If you watch my videos, I use them every single video. It's how we make our props. It's how I show you guys the data for the reasons why I like my props. Link in the description below, 7-day free trial when you use our special link. So, first leg, John Collins, over 17.5 points plus rebounds. You get a -190. Of course, it's a DraftKings exclusive. I say it every video. I'm not sponsored, but if you're not on DraftKings, you're just missing out. Sorry to those who use FanDuel. I see it in the comments, people saying give the FanDuel guys a chance. Listen, FanDuel for football is great. Basketball, I have my opinions. But John Collins, he's hit this in 7 of his last 10 games. And if you stretch that data out to the last 20 games, it's basically the same picture. It's 13 out of 20 games, 65% hit rate, pretty solid. And if you really stretch that data all the way to the entire season, 80% hit rate, 33 out of 41 games this year. He has cashed this over 17.5 points plus rebounds. You saw in the beginning of the year, he was automatic, a lot of green. And he's still, for the most part, really good. You've seen a lot more red here and there, but he has been covering it at a consistently high rate all season long. Like I said, even his last 10 games. He's covered in 7 of his last 10. Like he's been consistent. He's really good. He's been fantastic for the Jazz this year. Now there is no head-to-head data here because it's his first season in Utah. He obviously doesn't have any. He's played the Wizards before, but they don't have it for some reason. Whenever players on a new team, they don't show you what the head-to-head data because they consider it like not relevant, I guess. Which I guess is fair to an extent. But looking at the defensive matchup here on the right side of the screen, the Wizards' worst defensive team in terms of points allowed and worst defensive team in terms of rebounds allowed. They give up a lot of points and a lot of rebounds to teams. You go down to the power forward position, which is where John Collins plays. They are bottom 10 in points, giving up about 25 points per game to the power forward position, and bottom 5 in rebounds allowed to the power forward position, giving up 11 rebounds per game. So solid defensive matchup. He's been covering it at an 80% hit rate this season. Again, look at all that green and tell me you don't love this prop. The data is there. The defensive matchup is there. He's been covering, even as go to his last 10 games, 70% hit rate. Solid prop here for John Collins for the first leg of our parlay. All right, guys, second leg of our 3-leg parlay. We're going with the Joker. Nikola Jokic, Nuggets, Knicks. Kicks off at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Nikola Jokic over 24.5 points. You get this at -180 odds. Hey, FanDuel people, -195. They actually have a prop. Go figure, it's because it's Jokic. But if you want to bet this on FanDuel, it is available on FanDuel as well as DraftKings. But DraftKings, of course, has the better odds. Again, not sponsored, just honest. Nikola Jokic has covered this in 9 of his last 10 games, including 7 in a row. 90% hit rate. You see here, he's really been on a hot streak of late. And even if you go to his last 20 games, 14 of his last 20, 70% hit rate. He's been covering this, but especially in the last 10. He had that one game versus Detroit where he didn't really play much. Let's look at the minutes there. And, he played 24 minutes versus Detroit, but he only had 4 points. But overall, he covers this consistently. And, you look at the season as a whole, 31 out of 44 games, 70% hit rate on the year for Jokic. Really good data here. And it's not surprising. I do believe, and I love Giannis, and Embiid's been fantastic this year. And, I'm not a LeBron guy, but LeBron holds his place in court. The reality is I think Jokic is the best player in the NBA. I don't think there's really much of a debate. I know Embiid, he's reigning MVP, and Embiid this year he just had a 70-point game, and everyone's talking him up for good reason. But I think that Jokic truthfully is the best player in terms of all around. He can play defense, he scores, he passes, he does everything. So that's my spiel on Jokic there, my take on Jokic, if you will. But I love the data here. Now, for the head-to-head data, we only have one game they're showing us, which was last season when the Nuggets and Knicks played on March 18th. He finished with 24 points, just missed the mark. Not a lot of head-to-head data to go off of here. And you look at the defensive stats, the Knicks are a pretty good defensive team against bigs. You see against power forwards, they're 18th, bottom half of the league, 24.4 points per game. But against centers, they are bottom 5, giving up 17 points per game. However, obviously, the Knicks have been without Mitchell Robinson for a little while now, and it is worth noting, again, I record these videos kind of early in the day, but Isaiah Hartenstein is a game-time decision. He is a little bit banged up. So 2 of their bigs for the Knicks right now are not doing too well. Overall, this is a solid defensive Knicks team. Why am I betting this when the defensive matchup isn't the best? I'm just going off of really Jokic here. I think Jokic is going to have a big game. He's been having, again, look at his last 10 games, 90% hit rate. He's been going off for the Nuggets of late. I think he's due for another big game here against the Knicks. Kind of a solid matchup. 2 really good teams, the Knicks and Nuggets. In New York, I think Jokic is going to show out in Madison Square Garden. Most players do, whether they're on the Knicks or off. So I'm going with Jokic here, over 24.5 points for the second leg of our 3-leg parlay. And one last thing, Outlier, one of the cool features, they give you professional insights here on the bottom. Nikola Jokic has exceeded 26.5 points in 7 of his last 9 games on the road against opponents with a winning record. He's averaging 31 points per game. Again, that's a very specific stat, but it does fit the scenario that we're currently in with him. So one more reason why you should like this prop. All right, guys, my third and final leg of today's parlay. This is my favorite prop of the slate. One of my favorite props maybe of the entire week. De'Aaron Fox over 29.5 points plus assists in the Kings-Warriors game. Get it at -170 odds. Again, DraftKings exclusive. Now, the data on a first viewing, the data doesn't look great. He's covered it in 4 of his last 10 games, only a 40% hit rate. Not fantastic. You stretch that data out to his last 20 games, a little bit better, 60% hit rate, 12 of his last 20. But when you look at the entire season as a whole, you really stretch that out. He's got a 72% hit rate, 26 of 36 games. You see, he really was off to a hot start earlier in the year, and he's kind of cooled off of late. But overall, he's still hitting this at a 72% hit rate on the year. Now, guys, real quick, before I show you why, the reason I really love this prop, comment 8 down below if you're at the 8-minute, we're at the 8-minute mark, we're past the 8-minute mark. Comment 8 if you're watching. Let's see who is still around here all the way this late into the video. This is the reason why I love this prop. Let's go ahead and pull the curtain back. In 11 of Fox's last 12 games against the Golden State Warriors, he has cashed this over. 92% hit rate against Golden State in his last 12 games. The only time that he has missed this number, April 20th of last season, he had 16 points and 6 assists and a 20-point loss to Golden State. Dating back to October 2022 and going all the way through this season, they played twice this year already, the Warriors and the Kings, and he cashed it both times. On October 27th of this year, he had 39 points and 4 assists, and on November 28th, he had 29 points and 7 assists. So he's already done this twice already against the same team this year. But overall, 11 of his last 12 games, he has cashed this over. That's a trend I cannot ignore. It's a lot of green. If you go down here to the professional insights on the bottom, De'Aaron Fox has exceeded 31.5 points plus assists in 8 of his last 9 games against the Golden State Warriors, averaging 36.1 points plus assists per game. We only need him to get 30. He's been averaging 36.5. We need him to get 30. Really great data. And you look at the defensive matchup here. Golden State, overall, bottom 10 in the NBA, giving up 118 points per game. And they are actually a pretty good defensive team in terms of assists allowed, only giving about 26 assists per game. But when you look at the point guard position, They are bottom 10, giving up about 25.5 points per game to opposing point guards. And you look at assists allowed, they are bottom half of the league, 19th, giving up 8.7 assists. So solid defensive matchup. It's a trend that De'Aaron Fox against this exact team, 11 of his last 12, 92%. Shout out New Heights, 92%ers. Great podcast. De'Aaron Fox, this is my favorite prop of the week so far. That includes all the props we hit earlier in the week. My favorite prop is right here. He's been hitting this consistently. I don't see why he won't again tonight. De'Aaron Fox, over 29. And again, on the season, 72% hit rate. So he's covering it on this year overall, not just against the Warriors, but in particular Golden State. I love this prop, guys. That is the third and final leg of today's parlay. All right, guys, moving my screen over here. Now, this parlay, the odds are not that high. Only plus 277 on this three-leg parlay. We're taking a lot of alternate lines. That's the reason why. But I love each and every one of these props tonight. I really do. Let's get back on track. We're just trying to get a win. The last 2 days, we missed the mark. Overall, again, this is why the parlay game is a marathon, not a sprint, right? We lost the last two, but remember, we hit that big one on Monday, so we're still up 8 units on the week. We've got room to play. Plus 277. Let's get some units back here. Let's win some additional units here with a nice, I think, smooth parlay. Tomorrow is Freaky Friday. Of course, we'll do a 5-leg parlay tomorrow. We'll take another big shot like we did on Monday. And, tomorrow we have time to take a bigger risk. Today, let's take it a little easy. 3-leg parlay. Let's win some units, guys. That is it for me today. Again, thank you very much. Apologies. I promise you guys, this will be the last day where there's no music or anything in the videos. Tomorrow we'll be back to kind of our regularly scheduled and regularly looking programming. But thank you very much, as always, for watching. Again, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Love you guys. Love this community we've built. Thank you for all the nice comments, everything else, to all the people who have been supporting me and obviously all the nice things about my business and everything. If you are in the Connecticut area near Mohegan Sun Casino, make sure to come check out Great Oak Pizza. But guys, that is it from me. Until tomorrow for Freaky Friday, hope you're all winners.